What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Day after the Arsenal game, after a very disappointing result in the end, but a very promising performance in a lot of ways. So, just coming back a day after and just going over a few things and what is currently a big week ahead for Leeds United. I mean, it's huge. Two huge games this week, and by metrics, we should be getting 6 points or could be getting 6 points. That's what we've got to look at. But listen, we'll get into that. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments. You know the drill, people. Now, I mean, yesterday, I just wanted to make it clear as well. I mean, Gordon here saying, evening, Cage, I'm feeling a lot more confident going forward if we can replicate the performance from Sunday's match. And I'm with you, Gordon. I'm absolutely with you 100%. And Stehan is saying we played very well against Arsenal, but as we know, this adds nothing to the points tally. I'm in agreement with you, KG. A striker needs to be scoring goals. Absolutely. But, and this is it, because I didn't watch it back yesterday, my match reaction, but I just want to make it clear. I was very, very happy with a lot of the performances yesterday. Very, very happy, in fact. But it's the context, isn't it? Because we're not coming off a run where we've won a couple games or won one and drawn two. We're on a very bleak streak right now. It kind of, the context does matter in terms of the performance and the points that we're not getting right now. So that's what I meant yesterday. I mean, I was just disappointed in the fact that we couldn't capitalize on a game where we had many more chances than we did against Crystal Palace, and we did it against Arsenal. We made them look very ordinary, and let's not do the match of the day thing here. We were very good yesterday. We were very, very good. We should have got something from the game, but the lack of finishing touch is what's letting us down. And Jesse Marsh has put out something on his Instagram today. And shout out to everyone that's just joining. Please hit a like as you come in. Let me just get Jesse Marsh. He posted on Instagram today. It is really difficult to be patient as a manager. Of course, I want to win every game. I asked the lads to invest in everything they have into our process and each other. And my experience that they will benefit massively from this mentality. We are getting better, no doubt, and I back these men all the way. So there's Jesse Marsh. He's doing a bit of a public rallying cry here, just to let everyone know that they're all in it together and that they're going to keep on working. But we need to see it in action, and this is the perfect week. This is the exact perfect week to do it. We've had perfect fixtures before the Arsenal ones. Listen, Leicester away on Thursday, Fulham at home. Come on, guys, we gotta get this done. David Losthouse is saying Bamford changed the game. He did. And again, I watched it back, and yes, everything that Bamford was doing was nice and everything else like that. But that's the problem. It's nice. I need this guy to smack the ball. I need this guy to just leather the ball sometimes. And I don't know whether he tries to take his game after like a Robbie Fowler, who, if you remember Robbie Fowler, didn't used to hit the ball, but he was a cultured striker. Robbie Fowler was so natural with his finishing. And I wonder if he kind of looks at his game, him being a left footer, but we need him to be more decisive. I still stand by it though, people. He should have had his goal. That should never have been disallowed. Not in a million years. I've looked at, and the thing is as well, I've been looking around today. No one's talking about our disallowed goal because it doesn't affect nobody in the league, does it? It doesn't affect anything. But they've been talking about Man City's disallowed goal against Liverpool all day long. So this is why we have to look after each other in the lower ends of the league here, because no one cares. They've just moved on. They said, "Oh yeah, Bamford disallowed. Yeah, we move on." But the Haaland Foden thing, man, they've had about 20 different talking points about it today. That's what I mean. That's why it is so difficult to get goals and decisions against those kind of teams. It's not nearly impossible. Philippa saying, evening, KG, we need to get a striker if we're going to stay at the relegation zone. I only hope the board don't sack Jesse if we don't pick up points soon, because they promised him a striker. Who knows what they promised him, Philippa? I think he probably thought he was getting a left back too. Then he had to, rewind that a week later. But yeah, Vinegar. I mean, I've said it before. Bamford is best when he doesn't have time to think. And that's the thing as well. In that duel with Gabriel, that was fair. It was definitely fair. I don't care what anyone says. If that's a foul these days, then we might as well put football in the bin. No touching. No touching at all. But that's it. Instinctive. No time to think. When he got the mistake from Saliba, I knew he wasn't going to score because he had way too much time to think. And I just think of Bamford as well. That hat trick against Villa was his absolute highlight for me, and I was so happy on that day. It was wonderful. But even then, even the intricacies in his finishing, there wasn't a lot of time to think. He had to quickly do his thing and unleash the ball. And he needs to get back to that. We're talking about Patrick Bamford, by the way, people, that hasn't scored since Brentford last December. Now, no matter what the reason is, whether it's injury, loss of form, we're almost at Halloween, people. We're almost at Halloween, so we need him to get back in the goals. Whether he stays in January or goes in the summer, I don't care. But we're gonna need him to. We're gonna have to play him and play him into form. That's it. That's the best that we can do with him, and just keep on rolling him out there. He's got to start the games. Metro is saying a Bamford is what we need in our team, but we need a better Bamford, i.e., one that doesn't need 5 gilt-edged chances before he scores one. He had 3 big chances again yesterday. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know all the good stuff that he does. I've been an advocate of the stuff that he does. But it's much like when I was talking. I remember when I was on podcasts, when I first started doing podcasts, and it was the year Sheffield United come up. And all the Sheffield United fans, they were high in the table. They were bigging up David McGoldrick. I was saying, but David McGoldrick is missing a boatload of chances. Like, he misses loads. And they were saying, no, but he's important to the way we play. He does this. Didsy, he's the man. He's the man. And I said, yeah, it's all well and good when you're riding high, but when you start losing games, you're going to change your tune. Lo and behold, he's still doing the exact same things as he was doing before, running the channels, making space, putting the ball just wide of the post. And all of a sudden, they needed better than got David McGoldrick. It's just funny how certain things work. Much like, by the way, because I know a lot of people keep talking about our corners being taken by Harrison and Aronson. But people found that quite amusing and liked it when it was working in the first few games of the season. Now people want just one there. It's funny how things change, but that's it in football. Things change very fast in football, don't they? So, Bandy, I'm sorry, Bandy, he doesn't like when I stream at this time. I'm trying to watch the chase here. Well, at the end of the day, Bandy, it's just another day at the office. All right. Scott Lightning, I'm convinced Gilhart would finish half of these chances. Bamford misses. Listen, we don't know. That's the problem, and this is where I'm going with this. We don't know, do we? Because no one else is really getting a shot except for him and Rodrigo. And for me, my head is still gone by Rodrigo. By the way, I am still. Arsenal posted it on their Instagram, and I reposted it on my stories because I just couldn't believe it. And every time you look at it, it looks worse. It looks brain dead. But the worst thing for me with Rodrigo, and I'm just wondering, we're seeing Nanto getting taken out of the squad. We're seeing Gelhardt getting taken out of the squad. I wonder if it's worth it taking out Rodrigo for a game. I haven't decided yet. Well, we'll talk about that more in the Leicester preview probably tomorrow. But for me, there's ways of making mistakes and coming back from them. There always is. There always is. But it's the fact that he shrunk after that. That was the most disappointing thing for me. It wasn't I've made this mistake. Let me get the ball. Let me go and do something. Let me get my team back in the game. The guy wanted the ground to swallow him and open up and swallow him. He didn't want to be there. He was hiding. That is so poor from just going by his facial expressions. That is so poor. And the fact he got hooked at half time kind of tells you everything, doesn't it? Whether it is by his request or Jesse just had enough of him. I don't know. I also found yesterday as well. I have kind of decided, but I want to give it another day. I want to just give me another day of clarity. But I also found as well that he wasn't the furthest forward quite a few times. It was Sinistera that was forward quite a few times. He was kind of getting in the way of Aronson and Harrison in the center. He was kind of getting in their way a bit. So if you're going to be the one up front, stay up front. But we often found that Sinistera was further forward, which is not a bad thing because for me, Sinistera is more of a shooter than Rodrigo anyway. But for me, he was just getting in the way a little bit. I'm not bashing Rodrigo in that way, but he deserves all the smoke for that crossfield pass. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. High Tech is saying, I didn't realize how bad it was until I rewatched the highlights. There was just no need for it. Like there's no justification for it at all. There's just nothing. and he just set us back. We already make silly mistakes in our team anyway. We don't need to put one on like that, like an absolute bozo. We don't. Uh, Shout out to Tony T, whose capitals are in the mud. I think Sonny Perkins has the confidence and goals to get us going. And this is my point. Sonny Perkins, we don't know what we're going to get from him, right? But it's not going to be any worse than what we're getting from our current forward group right now. It's not. If you're going to play Bamford, I'm all for it. I'm all for Bamford with all the stuff that he does. I am. But we need more of a finisher. And with Sonny Perkins' confidence, the hunger as well. I think people forget as well, because I said it yesterday, I am sick of people talking about the youngsters' ages. You know, I've probably got no, I know I've got 16, 17-year-olds that watch this. They've probably applied for jobs outside and they say, oh, sorry, you need experience. Well, how do you get experience if you don't give me the job? You know what I mean? You've got to unleash them. Stop protecting them by their ages. They're professional footballers. They're ready to go. Yeah, elementary. Yeah, it was one of the worst. Head's gone. Head's gone. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, so that's it for. I want to see the more promising youngsters. I know this is an ongoing topic, people, but it's important for me because we're not getting anything. And I mentioned Click yesterday because somebody mentioned him in the comments, and a lot of people saying this is not on Click. What is he supposed to do? The point is though, and this is where I always come back and say, people were telling me we got depth, but it's not quality in depth. Click has not done near enough in the cameos lately when he's come on, and Click is getting on before Gelhardt. He's getting real good minutes to make an impression. Gelhardt keeps on getting the charity minutes of 10 minutes. You know, and if there wasn't no added time, he would have got 4 minutes or 3 minutes of the game. You know what I mean? That's where Jesse Marsch for me has to clean things up, and I'm all for Jesse Marsch getting up more time. I really am, because I know with better signings he'd be doing better, but you've got to manage the game in game a lot better than what he's doing so far. The substitutions yesterday were, you know, somebody said as well yesterday, and I'm not saying anything bad against him, but they said Click came on to slow Arsenal down. That doesn't work when you're 1-0 down. You bring on your subs to try and get you a goal. So you have to throw caution to the wind at times. We were in control of that game as well, by the way. Arsenal really didn't have much of anything in that game. It was all us. And if we take the chance, bring on Gelhardt a bit earlier, who knows? It's all ifs and buts right now. But the whole thing of me with talking about Click is you're supposed to make your starters think about their starting place. He's not doing any of that. He's not touching Rucker. He's not touching Adams, and he's certainly not touching Aronson in that position. No way. You need your bench players to make your starters, you know, worry about their place. He's not doing that right now. But I knew it. I knew it. You know what, man? Let's have a look. Let's just go through some of your comments here. Bandy back again. Sorry if it's interrupting the chase, Bandy. Overall, I'm happy with what we did, but we lost in our own house. We must force the issue and play two forwards. Yeah, just do something different. Do something different. But you know what? Jesse did do something different yesterday. And it was much more what I was talking about in terms of not treating the ball like a hot potato. I thought we was very controlled yet again, much like Palace in the first 20-something minutes. We were much more controlled with the ball yesterday. And up until the bozo moment of that crossfield pass, we were fine. We were absolutely fine. Jesus was anonymous. Got to give a shout as well to Robin Koch, who I didn't give near enough praise yesterday. I thought Robin Koch was superb yesterday. Pascal, somebody tried to blame Pascal for that Rodrigo thing. Pascal was on the half foot. He wasn't expecting that ball to come across, and then it did some funny bounce. And Saka, you know, quick thinker. I would never put that on King Pascal. Never. But my other thing as well with the youngsters, if you're not going to play them, you're going to have to let them go out on loan. Or if you've decided that they're not good for loan or to keep, you're going to have to sell them on, because it's all well and good keeping, you know, these youngsters here, but they only increase in value with playing time. You know, you're not going to get back a lot of money on some of the players if they haven't played. It just doesn't work like that. So yeah, it's just a weird thing for me. I want to see more of our promising youngsters get more first team minutes ahead of some of the players that we have. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Richard saying other teams playing their youngsters just an excuse. Yeah, absolutely, it is. Other teams are unleashing their youngsters and getting joy. And that's another thing I wanted to say about Nanto as well. I don't know if you've seen, but he was nominated for the Golden Boy Award. And let me give you some of the other names that have been nominated in that category, along with Italian international Nanto. Moretti, who's a Juventus shining light right now. Musiala, techie baller at Bayern Munich and German international. Nuno Mendes, Seshko. Seshko, that's my guy. If you guys know me, I love Seshko, man. What a player. Mathis Tell, Udogi, who's going to Spurs next season. Adiemi from Dortmund, Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, Carvalho, Ansu Fati, Gavi, and there's Willie Nanto, Ryan Gravenberch, and Josko Guardiola. Now, listen, if I told you all those names off the list, you'd probably want to sign a lot of them. So I don't think that Nanto would be the one where you think, now I wouldn't want him. You'd say, okay, let's give him a try. We have to give this guy a go. He gives us something different. He's not scared. He gives us some physicality up front as well, something we need up there. Let's do it, man. Let's unleash him. Um, Scooby's just saying people slaughtered Rasmus after 3 or 4 games. After not so many games, much improvement. No, Rasmus has been absolutely fine in the past 3 games. I've absolutely loved Rasmus's progression, and that's what I wanted to see. Scooby. I was never hammering, but he wasn't good. And for me, all it is the way that I wanted to see Rasmus get criticism because he was doing some real basic things wrong. Is the way that I saw Furpo get absolutely crucified. But it seemed to be that way according to the feedback. But yeah, now Rasmus is absolutely fine. He's grown into it now. So shout out to him. And yeah, Vic, I wish we got him too. I really wish. Was we ever really going to get him though? We'll see. I don't think so. Mac is saying Nanto fits the system too. Listen, he plays behind the striker for Italy. Italy, man. We got to give him a try. We have to give him a try for me, and that's where I'm going. I'm wrestling with the decision, like I'm going to make the decision, but I would put him ahead of Rodrigo in the squad on Thursday. It doesn't happen a lot in football, but I do think that there should be some kind of making a statement or not a punishment, but just leaving Rodrigo out the squad for the game on Thursday because that mistake and in his attitude after it was disgusting for me. It was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, and I would consider leaving him out the squad. But listen, we'll talk about that in the match preview. Yeah, Harvey Barnes. Let me just get the yeah, Gary Cheshire is saying I'd be more confident if Harvey Barnes wasn't playing. Arsenal played 3 games in a week, in part explain their performance. Would be very least to follow a decent performance with a subpar one. Well, I would say, Gary, though, Arsenal did play games, but they absolutely rested everyone in the Europa League. Pretty much all those players you saw starting yesterday, they weren't playing in the Europa League. So, they were pretty fresh. So again, we're not making any excuses. We were better than Arsenal yesterday, but you don't want. There's no trophies for that. There's no points for being better and losing the game. I would have much rather us be disgustingly bad yesterday and then get a goal off Ramsdale's backside or something. I would absolutely take it. No shame in my game. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, how is everyone else feeling after the game yesterday? Are you confident about the Leicester thing, or are you worried that maybe the players will feel some pressure to perform now against a Leicester team that's not doing so well, and without James Maddison? Because now there is a case that we should get 3 points. I'm not saying that Leicester aren't a good team, by the way, because I do like quite a few Leicester players, but they're in a bad spot right now. Brendan Rodgers is openly being asked on TV. The crowd are booing you. Do you think you're the man for the job? We we never take advantage of these situations. Think back to Newcastle. Think back to Southampton this season against Ralph Hassan, who we've got to do it sometime. Got to. Yeah, hit the likes, people. Thank you so much as well. Mark is saying, agree, put Nonto in place of Rodrigo, but Bamford has to start. He didn't score, but we went up a level with Bamford. Went up a level, but he's got to score some of these chances because he's getting some brilliant chances, people. He really is. He's getting some chances that I see other Premier League strikers just tucking away. They're tucking him away. So yeah, he's doing all the other things right. But for me, I've said it before, and I'll never change. A striker should be scoring goals. That's the main crux of it. Whenever I'm watching highlights of Premier League years or whatever I'm doing, and I see strikers, I'm like, there's my gun man. There's my shooter. I need him to do that. Stephen is saying maybe this is the start of an upswing, KG. I hope so, Stephen. I really do. But again, how many weeks have we said it? There's no better game. There is really no two better games than Leicester away without James Maddison and Fulham at home. We have to make these count, please, please, Leeds, please make these count. Because you know what, I want to do a feeling good stream again. I really do. I long-term subscribers of mine will know I love cracking open a super malt and celebrating. But we need a win. We haven't won in 6, so it's vital we get back on the winning trail. Cloud Dizzle saying if Bamford is able to start the next game, he will score, I reckon. Yeah, some Leicester fans have said that as well. They've brought up his stats where he hasn't scored since December, this and that. He's missing loads of chances. Roll on Leicester City. So that Leicester kind of feeling like the way we do about our team sometimes. But yes, he's got to take advantage of it. I'll go into it. Go into it more tomorrow in the match preview. But there's so many things that are going in his favor. Danny Ward is not the best goalkeeper in the world. He really isn't. So take advantage of that. Take advantage. Cloud Dizzle saying 4 may be acceptable. I think so. I would love 6 points, Cloud Dizzle, but yes, 4 points I will take at this stage of the season. Absolutely. Mark is saying, will Leicester sit back and do a Villa? That's the question because we play better when the other team lets us play. Yeah, for me, Leicester, I don't think it's in Leicester's DNA under Brendan Rodgers, no matter if he's trying to get sacked or not, to sit back. I don't think that's for him. I do think that they'll come out a little bit, but again, it's up to Jesse and the players to work that out. Don't moan about it in program notes. Don't moan about it to the referees. You try and work out how to do it. Get the goal and see if they're still wasting time then. Let's make them make a choice after we get a goal. But yeah. I've just got to say as well, Harrison. Somebody asked if he was good yesterday, and I did say yesterday that he was okay, and I stick by that. I think he did okay in that role centrally because he hasn't really done much out on the left in the last few games. If we're being completely real, so I would go with him again. I did like the fact that him, Sinistera, and Aronson were interchanging positions, but it's quite clear when you look at Sinistera, he would be your number one on the left. He's just got that quality. He's just got that X factor that you need in games to break that floodgate open. So I would continue with that for a bit personally. Why do people keep talking about Bamford's haircut? You're not the first person I've said this, but seen this. But Seven Psychopaths, tremendous name, says Bamford needs a haircut, if not for extra pace. You're saying that his hair's stopping him from running. Oh Lord. James is saying, how many games have Harrison, Aronson, and Sinistera played together? Not many. The more they play together, the better they will be. I'm with you there, James. Absolutely 100%. They've got to get some chemistry going. That only comes when you play together a lot. We'll say as well, Pascal yesterday did a lot more better stuff on the left flank. I'm not saying it was fluid. I'm not saying he was crossing like Roberto Carlos or anything, but I think he did all right yesterday with a couple of his deliveries. So is Pascal now our new left back all season long? We'll see. But I've always got to big up Pascal for me because when we're talking about players getting new contracts, I know that was something that was being mentioned. I need this guy on a new 5-year contract. I need that. I need Pascal to be secured. If there's one player from the previous regime I don't want to go, it is Pascal Struijk. And I've been pretty steadfast with that. The only time where I needed him to come out of the team was when he visibly lost confidence, when we were just getting hammered week after week after week. But he is so good, man. Pascal is so good. He's not the quickest, but he's got it, man. Pascal has got it. So, yeah, Louis, Pascal is him. That's it. I just love the guy, and I hope that he's going to commit his future to us for another 5 years. I want him here to stay. Absolutely. Uh, Tony T is saying in regards to Bamford, he said he'd cut his hair once he scores a goal. You guys, man, you guys. Um, but yeah, just and just as well, have to keep on bigging them up because of just how well they're doing. But Rucker yesterday, brilliant. Adams, Sinistera in huge parts of the game. Like our players, Aronson as well. By the way, Aronson was terrific on second viewing. I didn't give him enough credit the first time around. He was brilliant in what he was doing. These guys are holding the quality of this team up. I mean, like they are literally holding us up from a quality point of view in that they are the shining lights of the team. So as long as they're on the ball on the pitch, we've got half a chance. They're just so good for us. Adams and Rucker, that midfield pivot, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I was just so impressed with a lot of stuff that they did yesterday. Adams was brilliant in breaking down play. Partey had hardly anything, and shout out to Jack Harrison as well, who dispossessed Partey on a really good attack for us. That's what I'm saying. We've got so much promise. We just need to get the rest of the team up to that level, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to take a couple of windows. But I'm going to keep on just looking at these players and thinking that's our future as we try and get rid of the past. Darren Wong is saying, "Can we change our captain to Adams?" I would absolutely change him to Adams. He's my captain. Listen, I was saying on to the TV yesterday, "There's my captain, Tyler Adams." I just say it all the time. He's my guy. Yeah, Jack, I know if one of them gets injured, we're in big trouble, and it is a possibility that that could happen, or a suspension of the amount of cards we get. That's what we're going to have to deal with, unfortunately. But while they're not injured, let's enjoy them because the money that we spent on those two, in particular, I'm just mentioning Adams and Rucker. I mean, it's a snip for what they're actually worth. In reality, it's a snip. So we've done very well with there. Sugary goodness, that's a decent shout. Robin Cock for captain for me. I hear that too. Robin was tremendous yesterday. He was brilliant. Vic Vinegar, Archie Gray captain. Mark is saying Adams is great. He's always smiling, enjoys his football. What? Hey, listen, he's not always smiling when it's not going his way. When he feels that there's a decision that should be going his way, or he thinks is unfair, he will let the referee know. I just think he's got the perfect balance for me. I think he's got the perfect balance for that holding midfield role and what we're trying to do. I just can't give him Rucker and Aronson as well. Give Aronson his props too. I can't give those three enough credit. I really can't. Darren Wong just saying, I feel Rucker is really good too. The guy's classy, just brilliant. If we could just get him a bit further forward on the pitch, just to let him help create a bit more, even better. But can't argue with that. Yeah, he is always. He's always in the ref's ear. Somebody's got to be. Somebody has to be. Simon Flynn, Rock on KG. Your show is number one. Well, it's not number one, but I feel you. Thank you so much for the support, man. Allison is saying KG Tyler has been captain every club he's played for. Yeah, and for the national team too, Allison. He's been captain for USA too. You can just see in him, he's got the natural leadership skills, just natural. And he's always doing all the talking as well. So on post interviews and other things that Leeds send him out to do. For me, I just can't, like I say, I can't speak highly enough of the guy. Yeah, Bully B, true. That exactly. Rucker offers a lot much more when he pushes up the pitch. And just in closing as well, let me just see. Yeah, and this is just on something because obviously you're always going to get people saying, Jesse Marsh out and everything. And listen, it's fine. It's everyone's got their opinions, but there was nothing more yesterday for me besides those bad substitutions that Jesse Marsh could have done. He can't legislate for a guy putting a crossfield pass like he's playing for Man City. We can't legislate for a missed penalty. You can't legislate for a good goal being disallowed. Can't legislate for his striker missing a one-on-one chance a couple of times. There's a lot of things that he can't actually help. But for me yesterday, the adjustments he made, I was fine with from the start. We just need to see more of that going forward for me. And it will be absolutely fine. He'll get the time. I know there was a lot of rumors because some of the 49ers directors were there, but the 49ers directors have been there a few times, even when Jesse wasn't being asked about his job. So I don't think it means that much. I just feel we need to just stick by him a little bit. But this week is going to be his biggest test for me. He's going to have a lot of eyes on him with Leicester and Fulham, but so it's important that he gets something. Jack is just saying, let me just get this one first, though. Leeds is saying, Peeps are stupid to suggest that Marsh should be out. Another window and he will be good. I would say another 2. I wouldn't say people are stupid, obviously, because everyone's entitled to their opinions and everything. But I would say another 2 because I don't see us doing much in January, unfortunately. I know I would, but I don't know if we're going to do much in January. So I would say give him another summer window as well. Jack Wilson just saying makings of a good team with Melier, Cox, Strout, Yelder, Adams, Rucker, and Sinistera, but Rads will be itching to sell them. And Aronson too, he concludes. I hope not, man. We need to be building with those guys. It would just be like us, though. We got all these good players, and yeah, other clubs want them that are higher up the table. See you later. But hey, Cooper's still here. Click, we can still go. Listen. It is what it is. Just before we finish, because this is a long one today, I'll be back tomorrow with a match preview for the Leicester one. I think Jesse Marsh's press conference will be tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get that done. Let's have a look. Oh, just and because the referee obviously was a huge part of the game. But again, I just want to make it clear: the referees just aren't poor for Leeds United. There was a tackle. Who was it on? It was Ben Chilwell on Jacob Ramsey for Villa. He almost took his ankle off, and Chilwell didn't get sent off for it. Why? Why didn't he get sent off for that? Why not? This is what I'm talking about. And even Cucurella, who now plays for Chelsea, had his hands on his head like, oh no, Chilwell's going to go. He must have forgot that he's not playing for Brighton anymore and that you get a little bit more leeway when you play for those big clubs, because that tackle was disgraceful. But it's good old Ben Chilwell, plays for Chelsea. He's not getting sent off. Another Chelsea one the other week where Thiago Silva batted the ball away on the ground like he was a goalkeeper. So that's why I'm saying I know that referees can be very frustrating. And in a sense, they did cost us with getting a goal off that should never have been chalked off for Bamford. But at the same time, we did get a penalty and we screwed it wide. We screwed it wide. But that's what I just want to make clear as well, because I don't like talking about referees a lot because they are just all bad. But I just want to make it clear it's not just Leeds United that get the rough end of the stick. It happens all around the league, especially if you're not in the big six. So just something to bear in mind. Tony T. They said it wasn't because it was a high tackle. But Tony T. We know if that was, say, Tyrone Mings on a Chelsea player, Sterling or someone, Tyrone Mings is walking. He's absolutely walking for that. They always have an excuse when it's the other way around, and then just move on. It's never spoken about again. Much like Bamford's disallowed goal, not even spoken about today. But today, Foden's goal. You think that there's been a high crime being committed that he was disallowed, whether it should have been disallowed or not. There's been plenty of talking points about it, but we're not talking about Bamford's disallowed goal. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm here to talk about that. You know what I mean? Sham saying, to be fair, a lot of Arsenal supporters on FTV have admitted they got lucky. Yeah, and that's another thing as well. We've been little broed a lot, people. If you know what I mean by little broed, it's that, oh, you did so well, but we really didn't deserve anything. You guys did so well. If Bamford could just finish one, you would have got a point. And like pat your head like a little bro. You know what I mean? I don't like that, people. I don't like that. I don't like being little broed. Okay, I don't like that stuff. So yes, I know that we should have got something in the end, but it's very condescending when like the opposition fans are like, oh, you should have got something. You played so well. You did so well. Oh, go you. Yeesh. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I just wanted to get another video out, just in the state of Leeds United, especially for the week ahead. And yeah, I will be back with a match preview. And yeah, people, over 250 of you have joined me for today. Brilliant. Thank you so much for the numbers, and thanks for the support as always. You know, you guys are rocking with me a lot lately. I know there was a bit of a lull after the Queen's death, but you seem to be coming back. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you for the match preview. Like, subscribe, leave your comments after the video is done. Peace out, people. Love.